I'm sure you've heard the news. Another case, unsolved. Another criminal walks free. But what if you could see behind the headlines? Welcome to Crime Chronicles HQ. Here, we don't just tell stories, we peel back the layers of the world's most disturbing mysteries. From chilling, unsolved murders, to the twisted minds of serial killers, to the cold cases that haunt detectives for decades. We break down crime scenes, examine forensic evidence, and reveal secrets others miss. Each week, we dig deeper, bringing you expert analysis, shocking discoveries, and new perspectives. Think you can handle the truth? Hit subscribe, smash that bell, and join our community of true crime detectives. Because at Crime Chronicles HQ, the case is never closed.
Imagine this. You're with someone you trust completely, your partner, your confidant. Now, imagine that person leaving you to die. This isn't fiction. This is Sarah's true story. It's about survival, betrayal, and the strength of the human spirit. When everything is stripped away, you're left with only yourself and your will to live. Sarah faced the ultimate betrayal in one of the deadliest places on Earth. Her journey reveals what we're truly capable of when pushed to the edge. Trust was the foundation of Sarah's relationship. She believed in Michael, her partner, without question. They had plans, a future, until the desert revealed a terrifying truth. Sometimes the person closest to you is the one you know the least. The Mojave Desert strips away everything non-essential, exposing secrets and testing limits. For Sarah, it became her prison and her proving ground. Betrayal cuts deeper than any wound. When it comes from a loved one, it shatters your world. Sarah's world was about to be destroyed. The most dangerous predator isn't always the one with claws, it's the one who holds your hand. This is a story of survival, but also a warning. Trust your instincts. In the Mojave, there's no one to call for help. We'll walk with Sarah under the blistering sun, feel her thirst, and witness her courage. This isn't just a tale of suffering, it's a manual for survival. It proves that even in the darkest moments, there's a spark of hope. The will to live is the most powerful force in the universe. Sarah's story is a testament to that power. When everything is lost, what remains is the fight within. And sometimes that's enough to survive. It started like any other day. A road trip, the open road music on the radio. Sarah and Michael drove into the Mojave Desert, leaving the city behind. The desert seemed beautiful, peaceful, endless. Sarah felt safe, happy, and ready for adventure. But as they drove deeper, the mood shifted. The road turned to dust, the landscape grew menacing. Sarah felt a knot of unease. Why so far off the main road? Michael's answers were vague. He promised a special spot to see the stars. She trusted him. Why wouldn't she? The car stopped in the middle of nowhere. No cars, no signs of life, just silence. The sun set, casting long shadows. Michael got out, said he needed to check something. Sarah waited, the silence pressing in. Suddenly, Michael's demeanor changed. Cold, distant. He told her he was leaving. He took the keys, the water, her phone. He drove away, leaving Sarah alone in the desert. She stood frozen, watching the dust cloud disappear. Silence, total abandonment. The betrayal was complete. Sarah was left for dead in the Mojave. The fight for her life had just begun. The desert was no longer beautiful. It was a trap. Trust had become her undoing. Now survival was all that mattered. The nightmare had begun. Alone, Sarah faced the vast, merciless desert, and she would have to find a way out. The first night was the coldest, inside and out. Sarah huddled against a rock, her thin jacket no match for the desert chill. The stars above felt like cold, indifferent eyes. Every sound made her jump. Fear crawled over her skin. The shock of betrayal was a physical blow. When the sun rose, a new enemy appeared, the heat. The Mojave is a furnace. No shade, no escape. Thirst tormented her, her lips cracked, her mouth dry. Without water, she knew she wouldn't last long. Panic threatened to overwhelm her, but anger rose to meet it. She refused to let Michael win. The desert was her trial, but she would not let it be her grave. She clung to hope, even as the odds stacked against her. She would not let the desert claim her. She would survive. Survival is a mindset, a decision made every moment. Sarah chose to fight. She recalled survival tips. Follow dry riverbeds, look for animal tracks, water flows downhill. These fragments became her lifeline. Her first breakthrough, a muddy puddle hidden in the rocks. It looked disgusting, but to Sarah, it was life. She filtered it with her clothing and drank. The water tasted foul, but it was salvation. This small victory gave her hope. The desert could provide, she could survive. Next, she needed shelter. She gathered branches and rocks, building a crude lean-to. It was flimsy, but it was hers, a fortress of defiance. Every day was a battle against the elements, her body and despair. She fell, she bled, she struggled. But the memory of Michael's betrayal fueled her. That cold, empty look in his eyes became her motivation. She pushed herself to take one more step, survive one more hour. Her will to live was an act of defiance. She refused to let her story end in the desert. Each day, she found new strength. She learned to adapt, to endure. The desert tested her, but she would not break. Sarah's survival was not just instinct, it was a choice. She chose to live, no matter the cost. Her determination became her greatest weapon. The desert was relentless, but so was she. Every small victory mattered, and with each one, hope grew stronger. In survival, your mind is your greatest weapon, or your worst enemy. Sarah knew she had to stay sharp, fighting off hallucinations and despair. She grounded herself by naming things she saw: rock, cactus, sky. This kept her tethered to reality. She developed routines: check shelter, search for food, rest during the hottest hours, walk in one direction. Routine gave her control in chaos. Loneliness was a constant ache. She created imaginary companions, spoke to her family, promised she'd come home. It kept her connected to what mattered. She found creative solutions, binding her shoes with clothing, making a signal with shiny rocks and glass. Every problem became a puzzle. This mental engagement kept her from despair. She became an active survivor, not a passive victim. She wasn't waiting for rescue, she was working for it. Her mind kept her alive as much as her body. In the desert, thinking was survival. The human body can endure incredible punishment. Sarah was gaunt, burned, blistered, her feet torn and aching. Pain was constant, but she learned to manage it, separating it from herself. She broke each day into small goals: survive until noon, sunset, morning. Each small victory proved she was stronger than the pain. There were moments of despair, collapsing in the heat, ready to give up. But memories of her family, her sister's smile, her mother's laugh, gave her strength. That love was more powerful than the desert. It pushed her to get up, to keep going. Survival is finding a reason to continue when everything hurts. For Sarah, it was love and the refusal to let Michael win. She pushed her body past its limits, discovering strength she never knew she had. The boundary of endurance is in the mind, and Sarah's mind was unbreakable. She learned that pain was temporary, but giving up was forever. Each step was a victory over her betrayer. She would not let him define her fate. The desert tested her, but she refused to fail. Her willpower grew stronger with every challenge. She was determined to survive, no matter the cost. Pain became her teacher, not her master. And with every step, she moved closer to freedom. After what felt like an eternity, something changed, a distant hum. At first, Sarah thought it was a hallucination, but the sound grew louder, a helicopter. Hope surged through her. She waved, screamed, desperate to be seen. She grabbed a shard of glass, flashing it toward the sky. The helicopter seemed to pass by. Her heart sank, but then it turned back. They had seen her signal. Relief overwhelmed her. Tears streamed down her face. The helicopter landed. Rescuers ran to her. They wrapped her in a blanket, gave her water, life itself. As she was helped aboard, Sarah looked back at the desert. It was no longer her prison, but the place she was tested and survived. She had faced death and won. The ordeal was over, but her journey was not. She had proven her strength. The desert had not claimed her. She was going home, and she would never be the same. Rescue was just the beginning. In the hospital, doctors were amazed she survived. Her body was battered, but the psychological scars ran deeper. Trust was shattered. The world felt dangerous. Nightmares haunted her. Michael's betrayal replayed in her mind. Healing her spirit would take longer than healing her body. Her family and friends became her anchor. Their love and support helped her rebuild. With therapy and time, Sarah learned her ordeal did not define her. Her survival, strength, and courage did. The legal process followed. Michael was found, arrested, and brought to justice. Facing him in court was hard, but empowering. She stood as a survivor, not a victim. Her testimony was powerful, living proof of his crime. Seeing him held accountable closed a dark chapter. Sarah could finally look toward the future. She had survived the desert and reclaimed her life. The fight for healing was just as fierce as the fight for survival. Sarah's ordeal transformed her.